So I just watched a movie. It's kind of old. It's called Meet the Fockers, and I thought it would be funny. I thought it would lift up my mood, but I used to watch it and have a laugh, and I thought it was quite amusing. But then I only found a couple of bits amusing this time though, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I used to find this movie really funny, and now I just find it kind of average, and so it's like it's not really ringing my bell a lot. I don't think um, it's as funny as I used to find it. I used to find it kind of hilarious, and I used to like watch it. I watched it quite a few times for a period, and then of course I put it away and moved on to other things. But I thought I wanted to watch a comedy tonight, and so I thought, well, this one used to be funny. But then I turned it on, and it's like I only sometimes found it funny, so a lot of it, I don't know, I wasn't really sort of getting. I mean, I knew there was some humor in things, but I wasn't really laughing. I used to like laugh quite a bit when I watched the movie. Um, so I would say the things that I found funny was probably let me think. Um, Probably the flight attendant when he's yelling at the flight attendant near the end, where he's on the roof having a cigarette and he's trying to, you know, get to a cat who's also on the roof. And then, of course, he lit the house on fire, which lit everything else on fire. I thought that one was a little bit funny. I thought the pool where he slam dunks the ball was kind of funny in a morbid way. I mean, it's not like hilarious, but um, it was more funny than some of the other bits. For some reason, I still thought the test bit was a little funny. I don't know. Uh, I knew there was some dry humor there coming from the different characters, but I wasn't always laughing, despite the fact that I knew that there was a joke in there, like some of the sarcasm near the beginning. It's like I used to find that funny, but today I didn't. Um, and I found the bit, at the end where he's like talking to a picture which has a little secret cam on it. I thought that was a little funny. Um, and I thought the cat ripping up the wedding dress was funny too. So those sorts of bits I sort of found more humorous than other bits, but um, yeah, but I don't know. I didn't find, oh, I just found little bits every now and again funny, and some other bits where I used to find funny, like some of the dry humor or the sarcasm, I used to find funnier than what I found it. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything much else to pick up on with that movie. And I was like, I was just watching it and I was like going, oh. So um, I was tossing up between watching that movie tonight and Troy. I haven't seen Troy in a little while, but I used to watch it like so many times. Like I would say over 1,000 times I watched Troy. So I don't really generally get the urge to watch it because I know I've already seen it. I'm like, it's only really when I'm in that kind of mood that I feel like watching it because I've already seen it heaps and heaps of times. So um, I was gonna watch Troy, but then I said, no, I don't really feel like watching Troy. I want something a little funny. Troy's a little, you know, a little what do you call it? Dramatic, I guess, more than funny. I wanted to laugh a little more than. I mean, I used to like to watch Troy, um, a little bit for the action and for the drama, and it sort of peaks in its own way. I mean, it's not funny, but it sort of goes through little stages when you watch it over and over again. So um, I do get I do like to watch Troy every now and again. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I have to watch this again. And then I watch it again and again and again. And like I found it so intriguing, like every time I watched it. And I did the same thing with Alexander. I generally don't necessarily like all of Alexander, but I went through a period where I was just watching it over and over again, and I was like, it sort of carries you, when you peaks at the action and the drama and everything. I think Alexander's made me cry, like, was more impacting than Troy. Troy's like, I don't know, for some reason, I like the Trojan horse bit in Troy. I always find the youth imitating the was it Achilles? Always find that like sad. Um, but I don't really remember which bits I used to like of Troy, but I used to like watch it all, and then I'd sort of get lost in the action scenes a little. So, um, when Paris is fighting and everything and is injured, and is it Paris or is it no? It might be the brother. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it. I know like I watched it for a period of time and then I stopped watching it because I was like, I've seen that already. It's not doing it for me. But of course that's a lie. I just stopped watching it for some reason. I don't know. But I think I grew bored of it in the end. After I watched it like heaps and heaps of times. So I just packed it away for a while. I don't have my DVDs with me, but if I did, it's like I probably would have watched it on DVD eventually. But yeah, but I don't think I really like Alexander that much. I mean, I'm kind of against Alexander because it looks like I don't like all the violence around the animals. Like, one of the elephant's nozzles gets sliced off and the horses get hit with arrows and things. And I'm like, they're boiling my ass out. I'm like thinking, oh, the poor animals. I hate seeing animals look like they're facing doom, and so I'm like, I'm sort of that's why I don't like Alexander because there's too many animals looking like they're getting injured, and it's like, oh, I don't like this movie. I always go sad. I think it's the Indian fight that sort of impacts me the most usually when they're sauntering through the Indian jungle in some state. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. I don't like it. um, and I'm not particularly impassioned towards his mother either. Sometimes I don't mind her, but other times it's like I don't want to see her, do her little fake accent and stuff. And so it's like sometimes I'm like I don't mind it, but other times I do, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to see her. Fast forward. I think somehow it gets to me that the mother's in it whispering bad tidings or warnings towards her son from afar. So sort of just the whole idea of her sort of sending him tidings from afar is sort of makes me annoyed for some reason. I don't really know why. It's like, she's not being happy for him. She's always giving warnings and little things, which is kind of annoying. But I like it how it has the mother scenes, and then it goes in towards what Alexander's doing. And so the mother's safely tucked in a palace with her snakes and things, and then it sort of sweeps towards what her son Alexander's doing. I like that sort of an exchange because it's like she's like saying such and such mutterings in her palace, and then Alexander's like, it's early morning and he's just about to, set forth on another battle. So I like that kind of sweeping motion, like the way the scenes change, but essentially sometimes the mother just annoys me. I was like, I don't feel like listening to the mother right now. So, yeah. But I like I like the way like the the scenes like start at different times of the day though, because you get the whole atmosphere thing happening and sort of the brooding feelings of how the warriors must feel like when they're meeting a battle at like early morning and then meeting a battle in the evening and at dusk and all this other stuff, or doing whatever they're doing, like whether it's like battling or having a lounge for a change or whatever. So I think the worst thing though is the spearing with Alexander. I really hate the spearing, and I'm not sure if Troy has spearing too. I have a feeling it does. Like, I have a feeling Paris's brother, I forget his name. I think he got speared or something, or maybe he didn't. I think he did. He got something in his chest, a spear maybe in his chest, and he's like gasping for a while before he dies. But I know. Yeah, but I guess they're all very fierce movies. You just hope that everything is like done graphically. Otherwise, everyone's like facing a lot of violence because a lot of people think that things in movies are real when they've been done with graphics and things, and you're like going, oh, you wouldn't want to meet that kind of stuff. But I really hate the Asperian Alexander. I think it's like, oh, that didn't have to happen. They could have done something else. But it happened, and so but what else do I like? I think I like the way Alexander's kind of like drunk, and he gets kind of schizophrenic, and then he goes through motions of having hallucinations. I like that. I like that aspect. I like the fact that he's a little mad in some way. Maybe not mad. I don't really remember because it's been a while. I like how it like goes to like he's like upset or mad, and then it goes through like little hallucinations or memories of his childhood or something, and sort of that's interesting. It breaks the it just gives a distraction or makes it interesting. I don't know. Yeah, but I used to yeah. I think from the Indian scene onwards, I'm sort of just usually crying a little bit because it's quite graphic and it upsets me and everything. Well, I used to cry a little bit. I was like, sometimes when I'm being very emotional in general, I'm like, oh, I can't watch this movie at all. I just can't watch it. So I go, like, it's like turn it off already. So maybe that's what happened to me. Why I didn't watch them after a while. But I probably grew bored too. But yeah, I don't know what else is impacting about Troy. Either way, I was talking originally about Meet the Fockers, and it's like I don't necessarily find it that funny anymore. So I've sort of moved on to I don't know. I watched just about everything of The Rock. I think he's done quite a few comedies, so I really like to watch The Rock a little bit. And he does action too. Some of his action movies are really good too. But I don't know. I still watch a little bit of other kinds of movies. I thought yeah, and I watch ones which aren't necessarily popular too, like when they come up on the thing. Um, and you just watch them. Like I hadn't watched The Curse of Sleeping Beauty in a while, and I watched that recently, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to watch it again. I don't know. It's an eerie kind of movie, but it sort of captures your attention too. And it's like after I watched it the first time, I had to watch. Like, I was literally watching it for a whole week, and I was like, I could watch that again. Yeah, I sort of like all the fairy tales, like even the dark side of fairy tales. Like they did a darker side of Snow White ages and ages ago, and I watched that quite a few times. And they haven't done a darker side of The Little Mermaid, but if anyone wanted to do like more like the Brothers Grimm version of it and be like a dark and mysterious and dark and creepy, that could be done rather than the Disney version, because Disney version's been done quite a few times. Not half as many times as The Land Before Time. I don't know how many more of the creators could make of that movie, but I've watched virtually all of them, and I think they're so far out. Some of them, it's like, oh my gosh, another song, but other than that, they're quite entertaining. And if I had kids, I'd have no real problem having a kid watch it. But I do think the original movie is quite impacting. Once again, it's kind of scary. So maybe not for a really young kid, but an older kid maybe. So, because it is a little sad, and it's like, oh, I don't. Why should I teach my kid to watch something kind of sad like that? So it's like, I know I enjoyed it, but then it's also sad. So it's like, yeah, I don't know what to think about it, but yeah. But yeah, they could do. I was watching the Cinderella with Hilary Duff in it the other week, and I still think it's kind of funny. I sort of watched it all the way through. I used to like that movie, and it's not because like I'm like I used to find it like a good movie to watch, and when I watched it a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh my gosh, I still like that movie. It's something about it I like a little. So I do watch it every now and again. Sort of like, yeah, like most movies. But I don't really watch the one with what's her face in it? The chick from E.T. I don't watch that one that much. I used to though. When I first saw it, I watched it more, but I haven't seen that one in ages. So if it comes up, I might watch it, but I don't think I particularly like it that much anymore. But anyway. But I think they probably could do a more reality-based Little Mermaid, I guess. They've sort of overdone Beauty and the Beast, but I guess they could do like more like a more reality-based version. So to get off the Disney, because I know like the real version of the Beauty and the Beast they did ages ago was more like the Disney version. In fact, it was almost identical to it. It's just like has real people instead of cartoons. And I'm like, oh, you sure you can, change the scope of it a little bit and create. I know that they probably didn't want to for that one, but for a future one they could. And it's like, I'd probably watch that. But they have to like change it a little, like form it from a different angle and change the words so it's not like repeating Disney, because I know Disney's pretty much top rank for all those fairy tales, but if you're doing a different version, you probably want to see a little more something original. So I don't know, just an idea. Anyway, I'm tired. So yeah, it's amazing how tastes change, but I don't always watch movies. I've been watching them more because I like to relax in the evenings, but I shouldn't make a habit of it because I don't like to watch that many movies. 1 or 2 a week is like usually my limit. Anything more and I'm like, I'm watching a bit too many movies. I used to watch one a day, but now it's like I don't really want to watch one a day. I want to watch it like once or twice a week, because I think just too many movies is just too many. So yeah, so 1 or 2 a week is usually my thing. And then I just, if I'm not watching that, I'm literally just doing something else.